Detective Harry Ambrose is back for the final season of The Sinner. But is this season better than the third season? And have they really saved the best till last? Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Carl. Today's video is my review for The Sinner Season 4, which is available to stream on Netflix now. Apparently this is the last ever season of The Sinner. But then again, The Sinner was only meant to be for one season, but ratings were so high, and look where we are now, we're talking about the fourth season. The story follows Detective Harry Ambrose, played by Bill Pullman, who is now retired from the police force and travels for a much needed getaway to Hanover Island with girlfriend Sonia, played by Jessica Hetch, who we saw in season 3. Harry's meant to be taking it easy and relaxing, but we can see straight away that he's still haunted from the events of what happened in season 3 and struggling with his demons. It's not long before Harry's caught up in another mystery case that he just cannot walk away from. While out for a stroll, he's convinced that he saw a local girl, Percy Muldoon, played by Alice Kremmelberg, walk off a cliff. But when locals claim that they saw Percy drive away and no body is found, Harry starts to question whether the events he actually saw were real or not.
You been drinking tonight? What about drugs? Medications you're on?
Look, I saw her fall. She was out on the bluff, and she went straight out to the edge.
That wasn't her. Percy didn't do this.
Maybe I made a mistake.
One of the longshoremen saw Percy drive by after your 911 call.
Somebody has a hold on her.
The picturesque locations used was beautiful. In episode 1 we see Harry and Sonia travel to Hanover Island in Maine, which is actually a real fishing village in Lunenburg, which is in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia. The aerial shots used showed us how lovely this place was, with the tall forest trees and the different coloured buildings in the port. What I liked about the previous seasons of The Sinner is when our characters are trying to explain something or they're thinking something, we instantly get that flashback and we see exactly what they are trying to tell us. They continue to use this in season 4, which I think works really well. I wish other shows would follow this way.
She was scared that some guy was after her.
You're the only innocent person in this house.
You lied to me.
You need to let this go.
What is it about Percy?
We're the same, you and I.
The acting I thought was spot on, as you would expect when you have a cast including the brilliant Bill Pullman, Frances Fisher, who played Meg Muldoon. She was the mother and well known throughout their small fishing village. And go back to Bill Pullman, some of the facial impressions you get from his character Harry when he's giving that stare or that nervous look was so good. As each episode goes on, we get introduced to new characters, which was nicely done because this wasn't rushed and thrown at you. At times, season 4 of The Sinner felt like you were watching a Hollywood movie in certain places. We had this spooky, eerie music playing in certain scenes, which worked really well because if you've got surround sound, this just adds to the tension of watching as a viewer. The story runs at a nice steady pace and starts to pick up from episode 6 onwards. The story contains twists and turns which were good because you were thinking you got the answer and then something would happen and you know that you didn't have it right at all. Also, some certain scenes did have me on the edge of my seat moments because Harry Ambrose is so bold and some of the situations he was getting himself into, it just left me feeling a little bit of anxiety. I've got to mention a certain scene early on. Harry's going for his stroll and it starts to switch to these black and white colours while playing this grippy, eerie music in the woods, and it gave me a feel of real unease. That is how you create a good scene. I also like the way we had our two main characters on set, but while one's talking, the other one would be blurred out, which I've seen used quite a few times now. I don't think you're ever going to beat season 1 of The Sinner, starring Jessica Biel. It was just so good. Although season 2 was pretty good, I do feel that this one, season 4, was better than season 3. This one does take a slightly different approach. Rather than a whodunit case, this one is a possible suicide case. And I must point out, if you haven't seen any of the previous 3 seasons, you do not have to watch them to watch season 4, because they are all new cases and they don't really follow on. This season of The Sinner, I'm not sure why, but Harry Ambrose reminded us of a little bit like Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote. Who remembers that one? Now, I do have a couple of negatives with The Sinner. They are very small. The first one, without giving anything away, because this is a spoiler-free review, there is a certain spot in the final episode when they're clearing everything up. I'm sure this particular spot was used early on in episodes with CCTV footage, which means there is a camera there. That's all I'm saying on that one. And the second one, this is the final season of The Sinner. There will be no more seasons of The Sinner, they say, which means no more Harry Ambrose. Now, even though the story was all cleared up, everything was solved, the case was solved, they explained everything really well, I just think they could have done a little bit better with Harry Ambrose. They kind of left it a little bit. I just think they could have finished that a little bit better. Please do join me in the comments. I would love to know for this review, what's your thoughts on The Sinner Season 4? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Also, which is your favourite season? 1, 2, 3 or 4? Mine is definitely the first one. There's 8 episodes of The Sinner. Each episode has a running time of roughly around about 45 to 50 minutes long. They are all available to stream on Netflix now. The age rating is a 15 here in the UK. There is sex and nudity, there is profanity, and there is some violence as well. I give The Sinner Season 4 3.5 out of 5 popcorns. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this review. If you like this video, please do give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe if you can, because it really does help the channel out. Thank you for watching. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.